Hello guys, today I'd like to share another concept which will help you navigate through this physical reality and allow you to have a much better experience when you are trying to manifest whatever you want, whatever you desire in your life. And I'd like to start by explaining to you that it is much easier to navigate through a territory if you have a map. If you have a map of reality, how reality works, if you have a GPS system, notice how much easier it is to find the thing that you were desiring to find. And if you don't have it, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand it's very difficult, isn't it? So in that sense, let us explore the what goes on inside of our bodies and our minds, okay? And a lot of these concepts, you'll soon notice that I won't share anything really that deep. We're gonna start little by little because we have enough time, and we'd like to enjoy the best we can going through each concept and really feel the blessing vibration that's inside each message and each presence that we open together. Alright, so with that said, isn't it true that if you understand how your mind operates and how your body operates and how your soul operates, wouldn't it be much easier for you to actually start using your mind, your body, and your soul for your benefits? Now, I want to ask you this question. It's a very interesting question. You'll soon notice. Are you able to control your thoughts? Perhaps you are. Now, I want you to just stop thinking for about a minute. All right? Ready? Ready? Go. All right? You'll notice how most of you have already failed by now. All right? Or the majority of you have already failed just because I'm speaking right now, and whatever I say could be distracting you. And it doesn't matter how hard you try, it'll be slightly difficult to really turn off your thoughts. So you can't even turn off your thoughts whenever you want, can you? So that's a funny experience, because it's like you don't even have the power to turn off your mind. You don't even have that on and off button to the thoughts inside your head because of the outside circumstances, because the outside is too noisy, or because there's somebody talking to you. That's not right, right? I mean, you should be able to really control your mind, because after all, your mind is yours, isn't it? But how come your mind doesn't want to listen to you? Doesn't want to just stop what's it's doing? It's like it has this little willpower on its own, of its own. And that's kind of funny, isn't it? Now, I want to ask you this question again at this point. Are you really sure that you are in control of your mind, or do you think your mind is in control of you? Who is the master and who is the slave? Now, looking from that perspective, perhaps you're able to understand that if you can't even control your mind, if you can't even make your mind, your thoughts, to just remain quiet for less than a minute, then how are you gonna stop all this conversation, this little dialogue or monologue going inside your head that does not help you? And during the day, you'll have all these random thoughts. Let me give you a few examples, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. Oh my God, what am I gonna do if that happens? Oh my God, what am I gonna do now? What if this happens? What if that happens? I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm not attractive enough. Or perhaps I can do this, but I can't do that. Or I should hurry up to do this. I should go pick up my kids. After that, I have to do this. I gotta go to the bathroom, and I have to finish this, and I have to finish that project. And when things doesn't work, You start this negative talk. And it seems like you're just observing the outside circumstances, but you do notice, you'll soon notice that the outside circumstances are still there, but you're still talking on the inside too. And just because you see a negative event happening in front of your eyes, can you understand that you don't really need to talk about it even inside your head? The more you talk about it and then you confirm inside your head, the more things, the worse the things are gonna turn out to be. And it seems like a lot of people have all these random thoughts about so many different subjects. And how many thoughts do you think you have per minute? That would be an astronomical amount if you really think about how many thoughts you have within an entire day, isn't it? You'll be thinking about so many subjects and so many different emotions and moods and feelings and topics, and it'll be so random. Positive, negative, neutral. So with all this noise going on inside your head, I don't know if you're able to notice at this point, but perhaps now, as you listen to the things I'm saying here, you'll now notice that you are not the master of your life. There is this voice inside your head that's out of control. And as long as we don't get that voice to listen to you, to your desires, you won't be able to get the results that you want. And why do I talk about this? Well, let me explain to you, let me help you, if you so desire, to really understand this concept fully, in depth, so that you get this new map of reality where you can navigate through your life with much more ease. So we all have our minds, right? Pretty sure you have your imagination and your mind, and you are able to think inside you. Because if you can't think, that means you're dead. So, and we're not dead, nobody's dead, which means we all have our minds, and our minds are divided into two parts, simple parts, that I'd like to call the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And I'm pretty sure you've heard about this many times until now. When you are born as a child, notice how when you're 0 to 2 years old, everything is new because you have not seen anything like whatever you're seeing at that point in your life, you know? So you will have this very vivid experience of reality that you have to use all your five senses, your sense of vision. Like, let's say if you are 2 years old, you'll see a chair, and then you will see it, and then you'll notice it first. You'll notice the colors, and then you have to touch it, and you have to bite it, and you have to push it, and you have to use all the five senses until you realize that that's a chair. And you have to wonder, and it's a magical experience with so much curiosity, isn't it? Now, I'd like to, if you can allow me, I'd like to make you have a much more pleasant experience while you're listening to these audios. I want you to ask you to imagine. And everybody knows imagination is very easy, isn't it? Just imagine a triangle of any size inside your head. Go. Wasn't that easy? Now imagine a time where you were 6 years old. You know, how did you feel when you were 6 years old? I want you to look at your hands right now. Okay, both of your hands. And you'll soon notice that those two hands are the same hands you had when you were 6 years old. They're still the same hands, aren't they? How did your hands look like when you were 6 years old? Okay, how did your hands feel like? Were they sweaty? Were they tiny, little cute hands? And how did you feel like when you're 6 years old? Like when you see something, when you're playing in the playground with your friends, or even alone? Did you need money to make you happy? To have a good time? Did you need to be with somebody? Did you need to fall in love with somebody? Did you require anything to be happy? And you could be happy instantly without anything at that point. You know, when you were 6 years old. Just go back to that mental state. How did you feel? And you'll notice that, you know, anything that looked funny, you know, even if it was corny, you know, something very corny to adults is very funny for kids. And that was the same case for you, wasn't it? Like the jokes that are not funny today were very funny to you, and even when you saw something stupid that looks stupid for us now, something silly, it's very funny. It used to be very funny for you, wasn't it? Go back to that mindset. How did you walk when you're 6 years old? How did you hear and see and experience the world? Wasn't that a wonderful experience? And that's the mental state where your mind is operating at that state of being. If you're able to maintain that playful state of being where you're not worried about your obligations and you're not worried about your responsibilities, and you're just enjoying your moment, even if it's for 3 seconds. If you're able to maintain that mental state, you will soon realize that that past regression, that technique that we just did just now, just looking at your hands and imagining that mental state and feeling the emotion of fun back then and curiosity of a little kid that you were, that little state, if you can maintain that state, that is the best state optimized for learning. You know, because perhaps you're able to notice that when people are having fun, they're able to really absorb information like a sponge. So, and you're able to just remember how you were by looking at your hands now that we went through this technique. And at any time before you listen to an audio such as this, or at any time when you perhaps read a book or watch a movie, just instantly go back to that state. Imagine the feelings and the visual cues and the memory. Allow it to come back and just maintain that state. Because soon you'll notice that you're able to do this. Then maintain that state and then enjoy the show with a playful mind. So as a child, up until when you are 6 years old, you're operating from this little brain wave, which scientists call the theta wave. And this is where all the information that you're experiencing goes right straight into your subconscious mind, where you have no ability to distinguish what's wrong or right. So your mind is more like a sponge. And this is where the point of your life, where you're building the model of your life, and this is where you're building your belief systems. And whatever your family tells you, or whatever you see and hear and feel during these stages where your mind is like a sponge operating at a theta brainwave frequency, remains there. And this is where you build a foundation of your belief systems, of what the world, your own little private universe, is like for you, how things work, all the mechanisms, all the dynamic mechanisms that you think how the world works was embedded during this stage of your life, which was until 6 years old. And then later on we move on to alpha and beta, and as adults you'll soon notice that we operate at a beta wave, which means that whenever we come across some sort of information, now we have this filter where we're constantly judging, is this helpful for me or is this harmful for me? You know, is this something that's right or is this something that's wrong? You know, does it feel good or does it feel bad? Now you have a filter, and then your subconscious mind, the model of the world, the belief systems that you were fed up until when you were 6 years old, is basically what's really filtering out information about things that you see, feel, and hear. And then, based on these belief systems that you received up until when you're 6 years old, the results you achieve in this life will vary dramatically. And these belief systems that you came across during these first 6 years of your life, they are not necessarily yours. They all come from your parents. They all come from your school teachers, perhaps, like your kindergarten teacher, or your friends who you don't even remember, or maybe the cartoons you watched, or maybe some things you saw on the street. It could be a peaceful memory, it could be a terrifying memory. All these random things that you had no control over built a dynamic equation in your mind that is still affecting what you're able to, the output, the results you're getting from this world. And as soon as you come to this realization, you might soon realize that if you are not able to control the sub-program, the program that is programmed in your mind, in your subconsciousness, if you're not able to reprogram these, replace them with a program that really serves you instead of a random program, then it doesn't matter how hard you try, it doesn't matter how much effort you put into whatever project that you're working on, you won't be able to get the results you desire. It's as if your physical mind, your conscious mind, was not designed to really operate from the creative perspective. Your conscious mind is actually just designed to perceive what happened logically. It is not designed to perceive what's going to happen in an intuitive way. All of the things that you instantly manifest, the results that you bring into this world, even though it might seem very logical and physical, you'll soon realize that they are just a reflection of your subconscious mind. And you might have some trouble understanding this concept, and we're going to delve deeper into this concept little by little, so that you'll be able to navigate into these concepts further until we reach a point where you soon understand what's really going on, and whatever tools you were working with, whatever tools you were trying to master until now, as soon as you come to the realization that the subconscious mind is where all the answers are, you'll soon realize that you are looking for the tools in the wrong pocket. And it is my passion and my intention to really allow me to facilitate your experience of reality, so that everybody in this world could live their dreams. We're gonna delve deeper into this concept in our next audio, and we're gonna talk about some practical tools, and we're gonna go deeper and deeper to a point where you'll see how the concepts that we discuss and the practical tools that we discuss will go into some topics that you might be very skeptical about at this point, such as mind control, controlling your own mind, controlling other people's mind, reading other people's mind. We'll be discussing topics such as magic. I'm not talking about sleight of hand trick type of magic, but we're talking about arcane knowledge, the occult knowledge. We'll be talking about meditation. We'll be talking about metaphysical dynamic laws of metaphysics, so that you'll be able to understand the basic program on how this reality is designed. What's weaving the fabric of this reality that we see every day. And we'll be discussing, we'll be installing some new softwares. If you permit yourself to really live your dreams, then the more you listen to these audios, the more you'll allow yourself to really live your dreams in a way that you weren't even able to dream about in the past. And with that said, if you really like these videos, then become the beacon of light in the darkest of time by sharing and commenting and asking questions about these audios to the people who you love or the people who you will love, because we must all love each other. I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for investing and spending your precious time enjoying these videos. Thank you so much.